What's going on, guys? My name is BJ and this is Praska Boys Garage. And on today's episode, I'll be fixing up a 50cc Chinese ATV for a coworker of mine's grandson for a Christmas present. My coworker Robin had asked me to build one for her grandson, and I said I would love nothing more to do that. So what I had to do was put the other projects we have on pause, and I jumped right into the ATV. Now, because of one of you, a fellow subscriber by the name of Jake, actually sent me an email to praskaboysgarage@gmail.com. He saw that I lived in Iowa. He also lived in Iowa and had two of these things for sale. He wanted to know, hey man, before I put them on Facebook Marketplace, do you want them? I saw the pictures. I said, hell yeah, brother. I could not resist. So I drove down, paid him $100 for the two, and got to work right away. You'll actually notice the fixed one is already right behind me. So I will show you guys a walk around of what the green one looked like before we got started, and then we'll dive right into this video. Because I didn't have a lot of time to stop and talk about what I was doing throughout this process, I'm going to be narrating the majority of this video. This is a shot of both the ATVs I picked up from Jake, and I quickly realized the green one is actually in much better condition overall, and it was a better starting point than the blue one because I was already in a time crunch. I definitely didn't want to start with the hardest project. So now that I've looked over the ATVs, there's nothing left to do besides get it up on the table and start breaking it down. Oh, 140. That's awesome. Couldn't ask for much better than that. Man, I will tell you that having good compression is such a relief. Because of the time frame of this build, I did not want to spend the entire day rebuilding the motor, so when I got that reading, I was just pumped. And since I knew the motor was in good shape, I jumped right into the electrical system. I replaced the entire wiring harness with all brand new wiring and all the electrical components, and this is me just getting all organized and zip tied together. If you want a complete how-to wiring process for your Chinese ATV, I will have a link in the description below that will show you every step I take in order to get one of these ATVs completely wired up. Right. To this day, that is still my favorite part of any project. Just getting to hear the motor run for the very first time is awesome. Okay, So now that we know all the wiring is perfect and everything is working as it should, I am moving on to the carburetor. The carburetor that I am installing is a PZ19 that I purchased off of Amazon. If you need one just like it, I will put my Amazon affiliate link down in the description below, along with all the other parts I used to make this project happen. All right, so we're going to take a quick break from the time lapse. That was about 4 hours worth of work in the shop I did last night, and overall, it went pretty well. I actually am very surprised on the overall condition of this ATV, especially for how long it did sit. I went ahead, ripped out all that wiring because it was just really cracked and brittle. Got that brand new wiring harness put in. We checked compression, which was killer. I think it was right around 140. And we went ahead and put some fuel down the intake pipe and got to hear it run for the first time in probably 4 or 5 years. So that was awesome. Now I am waiting on some parts. I went ahead and put an order on VMC last night. I'll throw those up on the screen. That way you guys can see what we're expecting to get. But in the meantime, while I'm waiting for those parts to show up, I don't just want to sit here and do nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and move my attention towards the cosmetic look of this ATV. Because it is a Christmas present, I don't just want to slap on some old crappy plastics and ship it out. I want to make it actually look pretty nice. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on that. We're going to get this body cleaned and prepped. We're going to get that exhaust stripped off completely now and painted as well. So I'm going to put you guys back on the time lapse. I'm just going to get back to work. As I prepare the body for paint, I need to remember that I am no professional painter. I do not have a paint booth, I don't have a paint gun. This is going to be a rattle can finish. But that doesn't mean I should just rush through it. I want to take my time and make it look as best as possible. So I grab my heat gun, some Goo Gone, and a plastic razor blade, and I start taking off all the stickers in order to get the body prepared for paint. In my defense, it is very cold outside, and I did not want to use the pressure washer. Please don't tell my wife. Here you will notice I am applying the second coat of paint for the exhaust, and now that it's finished, I can take it, move it out of the way, and turn my attention towards these plastics. The first thing that I'm doing is masking off the top half, and that is because we will be using a truck bed liner for the underside. The reason why I use the bed liner spray is because it completely covers the entire surface, and it also just leaves a really nice clean finish when I'm all done. Well, since I've literally been waiting for paint to dry for the last hour or so, I took some time to do a couple small things on the ATV. We got the wheels seated back on the rims. I took the chain off, put that in evaporust so that way the rust can go off, and threw this exhaust back on. But while I was doing that, I noticed something. It's a crack in the frame. Yep. A big ol' motherfucker. So anyway, I'm gonna grab the welder. Since the truck bed liner is completely dry, I remove all the tape and start sanding the major areas with a 400 grit. My goal isn't to make it perfect, but really just knock down the top surface. That way I can have a nice even base to spray on. You will notice you can still see where the stickers were, so sanding will not only help get out some of those scratches in the plastic, but also make sure that there are no ridges from those outlines. If those outlines weren't sanded, then they would definitely be visible through the paint. The next thing I do is get my shop ready again. I lay out all the plastics, covering up everything I don't want to get overspray on. I grab that plastic adhesion promoter and lay down the first coat. About 15 minutes later, it's time to start with primer. I use a 2-in-1 filler and sandable primer. I don't show it on film, but I actually lay down 2 coats to make sure that I have 100% coverage. As you can see, the paint turned out absolutely amazing. I am very happy with my results. So here's my painting recap. I did 1 coat of plastic adhesion promoter, then 2 coats of primer, followed by 2 coats of blue automotive paint, and 1 coat of clear. Now I am always willing to learn, so let me know in the comments if you guys have a similar or a different paint process when you're painting in your garage. Well, as you can tell in this clip, we decided to put brand new tires on the 4-wheeler. The original tires, they were just not in good shape and wouldn't hold air after 1 day. Now, if you are familiar with my channel, you know I absolutely just hate changing tires. It's so stressful not to damage the rims in the process, and it just takes me forever. So even watching this on film right now, it's making me frustrated. But I knew that once I finally got the first one mounted, there was no turning back. So this is me just struggling through the entire thing. Eventually got it done, and I'm glad I did. Well, I gotta tell you, after those tires kicked my butt, I decided to just take a couple days off, but at this point, I am back in the shop and ready to button everything up. You just saw a quick shot of those plastics, and they turned out absolutely amazing. Also, that chassis looks way better now that those new tires are on. I just have a few parts left to install to complete this build. I'm putting on a battery tender maintainer, a new battery, a brake lever with master cylinder, headlight, taillight, and also a brand new gas tank with fuel lines and fuel filter. All right, guys, well, this video is a wrap. The ATV turned out absolutely amazing, and I'm very happy with the results. And relatively, everything went on smooth. I didn't have a lot of issues with this build, and that's a good thing because I'm already on a time crunch for Christmas to begin with. So, AJ, if you were watching this, man, Merry Christmas. I hope you enjoy the ATV. And for everybody else that's tuning in, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Merry Christmas to you, Merry Christmas to your family, and safe travels this holiday season. Now, I do have some business to attend to. Only 35% of you are actually watching the end of this video according to Google Analytics. If you're part of that 35% and you are not subscribed, what are you doing? Do yourself and myself a favor. Hit that subscribe button. That way I can guarantee I will see you on the next one.
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong.
That's all yours.
Oh, he did this so awesome.
Look at that. We gotta play these right too. Oh my goodness. Well, you'll have to learn slow.
You can go slow and you'll have
helmet.
Yep, you'll have a helmet. What do you think of the color? Yeah. To love what I'm doing, never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. Grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable.